The 5 imperial powers of the world: Brenland, Preußen, Frank, Hubstria, and Ruse. These empires held regular conferences known as the Vian Summit.
That's the forum they used to exchange information on how best to govern Europa, wasn't it? The leading superpower was the Brennish Empire. Like today, their country was the most influential in Europa.
Why is Emperor Claudius not here?
I'm sure you can guess the reason.
Well, it would seem that Jutland has him thoroughly whipped. There's no way he'd show his face now.
But it is still the dead of winter. I do hope his imperial posterior hasn't frozen to the throne.
I have a message from His Majesty to everyone present.
Let us hear it then. Speak.
Spring is nearly upon us.
Is that all?
Indeed it is.
What an amusing man.
I believe everyone understands its meaning. The time when the signs of spring surround us is the time the Rusi Empire redraws the map of Europa. Please look forward to it.
That parvenu. Dreadful as ever. The temperature drops every time they enter the room.
Everything is as the Ancient, the Valkyria wishes it to be.
I'm honored that you've graced me with some of your time. I know you're a busy woman.
Nay, the honor is all mine. Thank you for this opportunity.
Let's dive right in. You've led Jutland to victory after victory, all the while solidifying its people's trust in you. The reason I asked for this interview is to learn how your Highness feels about the war and her plans for the future.
Please, ask anything you wish.
January 6, 1854. There is record that Ophelia was interviewed by Freke the traitor. With a sincere voice, she spoke of why she stood on the front lines, as well as her aspirations for the people.
Many would describe this war as one fought for liberation.
Just so. The fight for freedom, liberation as you put it, has united the people as one.
I agree.
Furthermore, there is something I wish to inform you, now that the opportunity presents itself.
By all means.
Well, you see, within the ranks of the Rusi Empire, someone who was thought to be long since dead, the Prince of Ipsaria, is alive.
Is that so?
Indeed.
It hasn't been confirmed.
This is a delicate matter, Your Highness. Would you allow me to decide whether or not to include this in the article?
The princess is the same as usual.
I'll be leaving out the shocking truth about Laertes.
Naturally. Amlet, it's dangerous having the princess and prince meet. Can you do anything at the site?
I can kill him.
Sorry for increasing your workload.
He says he's a grand general. That makes him an enemy.
Gotta wonder why, though. The Rux do his folks in, so this one-armed wonder signs up as the Emperor's new pet? Please.
Regardless, we can't have her doing something unpredictable. I'm counting on you, Amlet.
Yeah.
Where you headed?
Where I'm needed. Violet is investigating. But now that discord has manifested at the Vian Summit, our best move is distracting Ruse with the major powers. If all goes according to plan, I can buy you time to upgrade and tune up your arsenal.
That's our Saul. His plotting face is not just for looks.
Never is.
You're quite studious. How splendid.
First question. The word princess doesn't usually call to mind someone wielding a sword or gun. I admit even now, sitting in front of you, trying to imagine you braving the battlefield is...
A bit difficult?
Yes, excuse my bluntness.
I did not want to be trapped by conventional ideas of what a princess ought to be. As I learned in my institute days, there is much and more I would never have known without leaving the palace walls.
It's my understanding that you excelled at the Institute of Alchemy.
Alchemy was not the only subject I studied there. I met people from many walks of life, and from them fostered different ways of thinking. 'Twas like entering a new world. Those experiences made me who I am today. And as a member of the royal family who holds the kingdom's fate in my hand, I felt it was my duty to protect the people I had met.
And that sense of duty is what compelled you to join Vannergund?
Just so. I applied the moment it was established.
And your father, His Majesty, did not oppose this at all?
But of course he did, along with half the country. Nevertheless, I worked hard to earn everyone's understanding and approval. Fortunately, my Ragnite aptitude complements my convictions. I suspect that played a role in swaying their opinions. History tells of many royal women who have taken the field. I am certainly no exception.
Well, this is true. I've heard stories of a Brennish princess who once led the charge in battle herself.
As you may know, the blood of that same princess flows through my veins.
Are you saying you were born for this?
At present, I believe that fighting connects me to my subjects, so to speak. The battlefield reminds me of what it means to be royalty. Some call me a savior, but I do not deserve such a name. In combat, I am but a soldier. I learned that lesson well. Untethered by titles, I can wield a sword without restraint. Knowing that I stand with 8 million Judish lives at my back is what gives me the strength to fight another day.
Words I'm sure will give any who read this piece strength.
Why, thank you. My world has grown much wider thanks to the people I've met, both at the Institute and among my friends in the squad. They too are connected to countless other lives. Once I realized that, it felt as if liberating a country was like bringing freedom to each and every one of its citizens.
Restoring their freedom, huh? I see.
Lord Madkine.
Oh, Councilman Lindegard.
There is something I wish to ask you, if I may.
Oh? What's that?
Where is Councilman Kallenberg? I've not seen him for days.
What business do you have with Solomon?
There are rumors that he has left the country. Forgive my impertinence. I only asked because you and Miss Sophia shall soon be uniting your family with his. I merely assumed one of you might know his whereabouts.
I haven't heard anything. How about you?
I haven't either. He doesn't talk very much about work.
Thank you for letting us know, Councilman. I'll ask where he went the next time I see him.
This is a true story. February 7th. In another country within the Ruzi Empire, Solomon met with Brenlin's ambassador, off the records.
An unofficial meeting with a leading power and contributor to the BRFH blockade? The traitors even pulled that off?
I'd like to begin by stating Jutland's stance regarding the other world powers, what with this war with Ruse. We do not wish to war with the countries that are unjustly staging the economic blockade against us.
What do you mean, an economic blockade?
Ambassador, did you not agree to meet with me because you wish to have a mutually beneficial discussion? Let's be frank with one another.
You're an intriguing fellow, I'll give you that.
So I've been told.
All right, by Jove. Let's hear what you have to say first.
The land of Molda, which our country reclaimed in that initial battle with Ruse, has a history associated to it. This war originates from this grievance, and has nothing to do with the other world powers.
And just what does this grievance entail?
That I cannot say. Only that it is a problem between Jutland and Ruse.
And you expect us to accept that explanation without question?
I would appreciate if you do so.
You sound rather self-assured.
Of course. I didn't come empty-handed. I have prepared a means to prove our credibility. 3 days from now, we will liberate one of Ruse's colonies.
What?
Dunfalst, in the east.
Dunfalst? That's a country with deep ties to Brenland.
Indeed. You have disputed its ownership with Ruse in the past. Our country will liberate it, and when the war with Ruse ends, we will present it to you as a gift.
Is that possible?
Certainly. Jutland has no stake in Dunfalst, and only cares to strike a blow against Ruse. However, if Brenland wishes it, we shall obtain it. I'd like you to understand that we only have our eyes set on Ruse. I would appreciate if you take our conversation back to your homeland.
Why do you wish to accommodate our country so much?
Jutland's royal family has distant familial ties to Brenland. This proposal stems from that mutual bond.
I see. I understand now.
Returning to our discussion, the sanctions you've placed against our country aren't very aggressive.
What do you mean by that?
These are merely my thoughts on the matter, but the other world powers don't think too highly of the Ruzi Empire. In fact, you wish to be rid of them if possible. With the blockade, it may appear you agree with Ruse, but don't you have plans in place to abandon them if need be?
You say very interesting things. I will respond at a later date, so I must ask that you leave for today.
When Dunfalst is liberated 3 days from now, might I ask you to draw the Valkyria's attention for a few days?
The Valkyria? You're making a frightfully audacious proposal.
It's for our freedom. Once we acquire that, we hope to form an alliance with Brenland.
Solomon, who hurried back, immediately approached the military and influenced them to move on Dunfalst. Parliament, however, had put this plan on hold. Many opinions from both the anti-war movement and the pro-war faction pointed out its low strategic value.
Jutland is presently closing in on the Ruzi Empire from the Western Front. The next target, Dunfalst, is surely off this course. Many of you within the military and Parliament have expressed your skepticism with this proposal. However, those doubts can be cleared with but one word. And that is liberation. Jutland's suffering is one that is felt through all of Europa. There is significant strategic meaning to this. Not only do we focus on the route to advance on our enemy, but by liberating the lands claimed by Ruse, our country will do exactly what we aspire to achieve in this war. These actions will put pressure against their empire.
Liberation became a magic word for the country, and the traders supported it to justify this battle. Around this time, no one believed Jutland could ever lose.
I read it!
I feel a little embarrassed.
You sure had a lot to say.
The journalist had some very good questions. I couldn't help but to get passionate.
Well, he couldn't have picked a better time to put it out.
How do you mean?
Well, the Dunfalst mission is to liberate the colony, right? So it's good to have the princess rally behind that word. In a way, this operation takes on even more meaning.
Oh, Bloom, you're so endearingly dim-witted.
It's like they're still cadets.
Nothing wrong with that. It does good for morale.
Did you read it? Huh? Did ya?
No, not quite yet.
So, are you embarrassed?
Godot,
Yes, Your Highness.
any mention of Ipsaria has been omitted.
Well, the journalist did say he might leave it out.
Huh.
Looks like you're all here. We deploy tomorrow, 0400.
Well, this is rather sudden.
It explains why Parliament was so noisy.
I hate waking up early.
We've got your back. You want me or Bridget to drag you out of bed?
I'm counting on you, Tilda.
No hesitation, huh? Well, it's no wonder, given the other option.
Prep and get some rest, all of you. Dismissed.
What's the matter? Well done. Well done. Well done.
Op details are as follows. That's all. Vannergan, move out!
A little birdie from the business world told me something. Brenlin's trying to dig up dirt on you, Saul. And yeah, I greased a lot of palms to make sure this info's legit.
Well, it's to be expected. From their point of view, you could be useful in many ways.
I'm honored.
Be careful. Ruse is pretty dangerous, but you can't let your guard down against Brenlin either.
If I was in their position, I would investigate me too.
They'll be keeping an eye on you.
That's about what I expected. It'll add some tension to my life.
Stop joking around.
It's fine as long as Brenlin's focus is on me. Hamlet will be able to handle the rest.
The anti-Valkyria squad commenced their attack on Dunfalst.
Vannergan, attack!
Have no fear, I am here.
I swear I'm not drunk. All right, time to cut loose.
Standing on the horn.
See ya. Sorry,
All
pal.
right, let's
All
do
right,
this.
Time to cut loose.
Another pack of peasants.
Get out of here. Good work. It's over. It's over already? See ya.
Let's go!
I swear I'm not drunk.
We can do this! Sorry.
Back. I'll go on support. I'll go on support.
Something's coming.
All right, time to cut loose.
Let's
Time to cut loose.
I've got your back.
I'm not drunk.
Sorry!
Show's over. Sorry, pal.
Right behind you.
Blazing heat! Got your back.
I'm not like
You're gonna live. Let's take him out.
Sorry, pal.
That's hardly my forte.
Listen, I swear I'm not like
Vexation.
yet.
Win. This isn't good.
Oh, only flesh wound.
Keep an eye out.
Don't expect effects.
Get out of here! Sorry, pal.
Satious.
Not done yet.
Who's next?
Don't be so good.
Try this on for size.
Far too lordly to lose.
All right, let's do this. Yeah, let's take him out. You're gonna get hurt.
Right behind you.
Farewell forever.
I'm healing.
Missed me by a mile. I'm a prince among paupers.
Too slow.
It shall be mine. Missed me by a mile. It's hardly my forte.
Piece of cake, right?
Far too lordly to lose.
Give it your all.
Can you keep up with me?
Got it. I'm determined to win.
Let's do this.
My personality's electric.
Come with me. This'll be a good one. I'll go on support. Come with me. Let's end this.
Me?
Are you ready?
Think about it. Let's do this.
Curtains!
Come with me.
It's curtains!
You can do this.
It's curtains!
Let's do
Come
this.
with me! Me? Me? It's curtains!
Come with me.
Blazing heat! It's curtains!
Take this.
Let's
do this.
Come with me! Curtains!
about this? Sorry, pal.
Tango's ahoy! Very vexatious. Another pack of peasants. Time to shine.
All
Let's
right,
go.
got time to cut loose. I'm not liking
my
this.
forte. I'm a prince among paupers.
We can handle this. Let's go. Rushing water!
Thanks to me.
I'm getting the hang of this. I did it, Helena.
I'm not liking this.
I'm not done yet.
I'm not liking this. Get it on! I'm not liking this.
We can do this.
We're in their sights.
Look alive.
Rushing water! I did it, Helena.
What's happening? Time to cut loose. Try this on for size. Good warm-up.
Lordly to lose.
No way! Retreat!
Right
Something's
behind
coming. Retreat!
No way.
Something's coming.
Don't expect a thanks. Me by a mile.
Rushing water!
All right, time to cut do this. Let's take him out. Thanks.
You're not done yet. I'm determined to win.
Very vexatious. Show's over.
It's going well.
You're so weak.
Earthquake! Victory shall be mine.
Who's next?
Come with me.
Keep an eye on this.
Don't underestimate a soldier.
Are you okay?
Come with me.
Don't expect a thanks.
Come with me.
Victory! I'm a prince.
Keep an eye on them.
Got your back!
Hardly my forte.
Over and done.
I'll go on support.
It's curtains!
This belongs to me now.
Let's go!
No match for me.
We can do this!
Get it on!
Sorry. All right!
I'm a prince among
We can handle
partners.
this.
Far too lordly to lose. Over and done.
All right, let's do this. All right, time to cut loose.
Keep an eye on them.
Another pack of peasants.
I'll murderize them. Try this on for size. Good your way. Sorry, pal. Let's do this.
No way.
Think about it. Take it all the way. You're no match for us.
Very vexatious.
Show's over!
Lose.
Get out of here. Try this on for size. Get out of here.
We can do this!
Vexatious.
All right, let's do this.
This isn't good.
I'm not liking this.
This is going well.
It's electric!
Time to shove. Far too lordly to lose. I'm a
Got your
prince.
back.
Rushing water!
I'm not liking heat.
Can you keep up with me?
On the attack!
It's curtains! It's curtains! It's curtains! Show's over! Oh no! It's curtains!
I'm not like
I'll handle healing! Rushing water!
Sick of this.
Too slow! Show's over! Show's over!
This will be a good one.
Show's over!
Not like it. Don't underestimate a soldier!
Can you keep up with me?
This isn't good.
It's curtains!
I'll
Get it
heal!
on! Something's coming.
Too slow! Music to my ears.
Let's go! Rushing! We can do this! Rushing water! Rushing water! Rushing water! Rushing Glad you're all okay.
With this, we have liberated yet another domain from the Empire's reign of terror. Thank you, everyone, for making this victory possible.
Sort of feels like you're the captain now.
Oh. My apologies.
For what? Op's over. Let's go.
What's the matter?
The prince did not appear. Amlet, please. Help me persuade Laertes to fight with us, not against us.
We've been through this. He's the enemy.
I'll repeat it as many times as I must, until you understand.
You're wasting your time. Next time he shows up, I'm ending him.
Jutland, who won the Battle of Dunfalst, immediately began establishing an interim government.
Having learned from his experience in Ipsaria, Solomon set up a leader this time. He announced that he had searched for and found its long-lost prince. But that was... Donovan Lindegard later uncovered he was a fake. I wonder why nobody figured it out.
It was around this time when the word liberation took a form of its own. The traders needed a leader in Dunfalst. It was to emphasize the cause to both Jutland and Ruse, but only until the day they'd relinquish it to Brenland.
What do you think? We did exactly as I said we would. A letter of guarantee. When the war ends, Dunfalst will be Brenland's.
I have news from my homeland. We vow to draw the attention of the Valkyria.
Deals like these were made frequently?
Weakening the Rusi Empire was of mutual interest to the major powers. or at the very least, to influential people. Solomon the Traitor capitalized on that fact and worked hard to gain the cooperation of the superpowers. Most of this planning was done so that Ruse's military might couldn't focus on Jutland.
I see. A small country like Jutland was able to sustain a war with an empire thanks to these diversions.
Analysis is being conducted as quickly as possible, but we believe there is ulterior motive to Jutland taking Dunfalst.
Your Majesty fought Brenland for Dunfalst. I wonder what they think of this.
Indeed. Should we call for the ambassador?
That will not be necessary. His words will amount to naught. There is, however, someone far more worthy of our attention. The one who oversaw the establishment of Ipseria's and Dunfalst's interim governments. Investigate this man.
As you wish.